Dear brothers and sisters, today and next video I want to talk about what is going on in this world and where are we going. The overall understanding of the reality will help us avoid big mistakes, and we can feel the spirit of Antichrist and guard ourselves against it so that we can be with Christ. Because the spirit of Mammon is everywhere, okay? And it got worse over the last 200 years. And it takes different shapes. It takes different shapes, and it's not that before this time there was no spirit of Antichrist. Of course, it was around all the time. But now this Mammon, this prince of this world, about which Christ talked a lot, gained much more influence on the people everywhere, okay, in all countries across the world. It took it to the next stage, okay? So we as Christians, we want to be free of these things. We want to overthrow all the plans of the Satan. To overthrow, we need to know, we need to grasp this beast, this snake, and not let it get into our hearts and into this world, into the church. Because it's getting everywhere, it's trying to sneak into every hole. Okay, so we can see from the last 2 centuries, okay, it was the 2 centuries of capitalism, so to say, okay. Before this, maybe before the French Revolution, before the English Revolution, okay, in the West, it was in stages. Okay, we don't go deep into history how this all developed gradually, but we can say that there was this very obvious transfer from the world where some ideals or some ideas were predominant drivers of human behavior, to the world where money and income became the predominant driver of human behavior. So this is why we, before this shift, we had many things. I'm not saying it's all right, it's all good. There were many things. There was a time of crusades, okay, where people had some ideas and they went to fight for that. There was a time of religious wars in Europe when people fought for what they believed is truth. Okay, there were times of romanticism, okay, of knights, of honor, of dignity, of okay, this monarchy and the family type relationship within a country, okay, and many things, okay. But all of that was gone with coming after the Industrial Revolution. All of that, all of those times were gone, and now we had the main motivation became income and focus on individual prosperity, well-being, and this influenced everything. Okay, if you want to know more about it, okay, we can just read the Communist Manifesto, okay, which describes all these changes that took place at that time, okay, and it's quite honest analysis of what has happened. Of course, for them, for the authors, it was good. It was, all of the development was good, because they themselves is what was stemming out from the capitalism to create something new. Okay, so let us think deeper about this, okay. The transformation that happened, it was victory of Mammon, we can say, because now it was directly grasping everybody and telling him, okay, now the most important thing is here on earth, and it's production, money, benefit, and just go for it. Okay, and this created this great boost in production of many things, and in efficiency, and in science technology. Okay, and it was very practically oriented. We need to grow more stuff. We need to build more machines. We need to have better communication to deliver those goods. Okay, so this great boost. So you can say it's good. So is there anything bad about it? Well, I mean, from the motivation behind it, we can say that it was motivated by Mammon, okay, first and foremost, and everything else helped, contributed to this. Of course, this is also some kind of maturity of mankind, that we know better the laws of this world, and we understand the nature. So it's not all evil. Okay, we should not say, okay, every science and development, okay, now these priests, they are, you know, those retrogrades who only want Middle Ages and stuff like that. Well, yes and no. Okay, we just need to separate things. Okay, now we're talking about overall social and value, okay, part of human being. Okay, so all these desires were awakened. Okay, now more entrepreneurship. You need to be more creative. You need to compete with each other. You need to, okay, so this, you need to work more. So there's longer hours. People were willing to work more to get more money. Okay, and this so it influenced everywhere. Okay, all levels of society. And of course, this was joyful for Mammon. Mammon, this is great. I mean, Mammon wants people not to think about God, not to think about prayer, salvation. Just think about nice house and goods and okay, convenience and stuff like that. So it was very helpful, very in line with what Mammon wants. So this is why all these children of Mammon, they are praising this thing. Okay. However, this appears to be only a stage for the Mammon to reach next goal, and the next goal is some kind of kingdom of Mammon. Okay, and we call it kingdom of Antichrist. So this kingdom is a fruit of this all-encompassing Mammonism. Okay, we don't call it capitalism, let's call it Mammonism. Okay, so the fruit of this Mammonism has to be some kind of kingdom which will be different. It's not going to be like those kingdoms before. Okay, but it's going to be, well, in some way it will be, but mainly it will be different. Okay. And so the rough idea about this kingdom was developed by those communists, okay, of the 19th century, Marx, Engels, and others, socialists, okay. So they had this vision, this idea, okay, of what the future is gonna be like, okay, and they were smart people, okay, they were not stupid. So we should not think that, okay, no, that's all gone, now it's Marxism is dead and it's all dead. Well, you'll be surprised. It's coming back to life now. And in a new shape, in a new form. Okay, but this is what the inclusive capitalism is about. Okay, that's coming now as the new stage of capitalism. Okay, so we see that they have this vision. However, they encountered some problems. Okay, it was a clumsy model. Okay, it was not yet. Okay, they knew that something like that is gonna take place, but it was still clumsy, and they tried to sort of impose it right away. Okay, and they could not do that like in the whole world. This degradation of the world goes not so fast. So, stepping away from Christ and from some other ideals is not that fast. It doesn't happen overnight. So, what they okay. First of all, let's talk a little bit about the capitalism itself. It was all-encompassing, so that all countries of the world had to follow. Okay, the countries who did not catch up with this industrial revolution and all those values that were predominant, they were just destined to die out. We know that Mammon is basing himself or herself, I don't know what it was, okay, it's basing on this material world. Okay, it's trying to do things that cannot be shaken, so to say. That okay, it's well grounded. So it's not some abstract thing. Okay, so it's trying to depart from some real physical things, economics, okay, politics, human values, and stuff like that. Okay, so it is. That's what about the materialistic dialectics is about, okay, or Spinoza ideas is all about. Okay, some people say that those people are Spinozans, okay, but well, it's another big story. What is it's all about? So they are they are well grounded in this industry, in this development of economic might that took place at that time. So everybody has to pull up, otherwise you'll be destroyed. Okay, including China, Russia, and the rest of the world. Okay, if you're below, you'll be out. But one thing that happened, okay, is that countries like Russia, China was too far, but Russia posed a threat to that whole thing. Russia got mammonized, okay, capitalized quite a lot, okay. However, not as much as was desired by the overall plan, okay, so to say. So it was some kind of reactive force that was blocking the whole development of the world towards these ideas. So what they've done, they've decided, okay, now we need to just impose with force. We impose this next ideal that we have of the world to come upon those countries that we just do it, okay? With Russia, with China, with Eastern Europe, and with everybody who we can do it with, okay? So we'll play this prototype of this kingdom on those countries, and by doing this, we will also socialize the capitalist countries. We make them more socialistic, so to say, okay? And it has many different shapes, all those things. It's not just as simple as that, but I'm now talking about general things. So this is what they've done, okay, and that was very successful. Okay, they succeeded. They implemented those things in these countries, and of course it was just a rough, clumsy model, so it could not live, and it was also not so well grounded on capitalism. Okay, people were not as capitalized yet, so but it destroyed all the culture, all the values, and everything in those countries. So after this bath of socialism that happened in those countries, those societies, the people, after the collapse of all these things, okay, recently, 30 years ago, this big collapse of all those things, they became even more capitalistic in their mind than the Western people. Okay, so if you look now at these societies of post-Soviet Union, of China, they're much more crazy about money, even than the West. Okay, okay, selling themselves. Okay, and doing it's much more okay, broken now, to hacked, so to say. Those societies are hacked by communism, so that they can embrace this mammon even more than anywhere else. Okay, so now this paves the way for the successful construction of what was dreamed about by those guys. Okay, by this coming to the next level, to the next world that they want. Okay, and this next world, we need to see what it is. Like in those days, in the 19th century, when everything was in the West, it was all capitalist, and the whole world was getting to become capitalist. These stems, these things of communism, socialism were sprouting out everywhere. Okay, and you had to notice, okay, these guys is the guys of the future. These are even worse, okay, in terms of mammon, than the regular capitalists that are just driven by income, by profit, okay, by mammon. This is something worse. Okay, so now we also need to trace, okay, what are those things which are the forerunners of the future world, and there are many of them. Okay, but this is something I want to talk about in next video, because I think it's too much for one video to talk about all these things. I want to ask every one of you to think about this mammonism. Okay, how the spirit of mammon, of capitalism, of profit, of benefit penetrates you, penetrates your family, penetrates the organizations you're in, because everything changed with that, even church. Okay, I mean how it's run, especially the Protestant churches and the Catholic, to some extent even the Orthodox, but not as much. Okay, and other organizations. Okay, so it became very much down to earth, very much, okay, what can be done in this world. Okay, we do some projects, we help get rid of pollution, we help some poor countries. Okay, but it seems to be good, but it's all down to earth approach, and survival is based on how much money we have, okay, at the end of the day. So it became less idealistic, okay, less concentrated on the kingdom of heaven and its truth, on Jesus Christ and the holy life and sacraments. It became much more down to earth approach, and other things. Okay, your country, your whatever social organization you participate in, you can see these things. Okay, we need to see first this first stage of mammon, okay, mammon conquering this world, and then next time we'll talk about this second stage which is coming, second big stage. Okay, of course there were many different sub-stages, and also we go back and to see that this happened many times in history already, but to a lesser extent, much lesser extent. We can see this in the history of Byzantine, when the society declared itself Christian, but lived according to Mammon, and then the punishment came. Then similar things happened with Russia, which also declared that we're all Christians, we're all Orthodox, but lived more and more according to the Mammon. And then the Russian Revolution came. Okay, and there are numerous examples how the Lord is punishing those who, and even in Old Testament for that matter, you can go back and see how the Israel, instead of worshiping God, worshipped Baal, worshipped fake idols of prosperity, and which brought they thought they bring prosperity and well-being and stuff like that, instead of worshiping the true God. So all these things, they happened. This spirit of Antichrist was always with us, okay, with humanity. But now it's it's coming to the next level, okay? So let us think about this. Let us not become slaves of this spirit of Mammon, and help also those around us to overcome, to get rid of this mindset, of this some deep drive that drives you, okay, I want more, and we need to get rid of it. May the Lord help us, keep us away from any deceit, from any passion, and help us stay firm on the path to salvation by the grace of His Holy Spirit. Amen. God bless.